This build for Mesmer is insanely strong as a healer. It might even be better in some situations, or in most situations, depending who you asked, than Chronomancer. Yes, this Troubadour build is insanely fun to play. It's very strong, has amazing boon output, very good healing output as well. And what can I say? Just watch the whole video and see for yourself. This build is amazing. Special thanks to all my dear supporters that helped me keep the lights on. And now without much further ado, let's jump straight in and let's talk about this amazing build. Let's start with the gear. So for gear, it's quite straightforward. You can run exactly the same setup for your heal Chronomancer as you can run for the Troubadour or other way around. You play full Harrier or Giver or Minstrel mix, whatever you want, whatever you need to survive. Just get the highest amount of healing power as possible. Just want to reach 100% boon duration while you have regeneration and your food up. So you will see if I have regen, I will go to 95. With food, I would be at 100. If you can min-max that around that, that's what you should do. So going for highest healing power as possible, going for 100% wound duration, and going for as much toughness and vitality as you need. If you want to be the tank, of course, go for more toughness. My exact setup with Harrier Giver mix is in the description down below, and there's of course also an exotic version that I would recommend. If you can afford infusions, you would go with healing power infusions, but of course not necessary. For the best in slot rune, the best in slot rune would be Rune of the Monk, but you can also go for Rune of the Water if you cannot afford the Monk or don't get it. Or any healing based rune is fine as well. Just like I said, highest healing power, highest boon duration as possible. For the weapons, you would go always with a rifle with transference and polarization sigil on there. If you want to be more aggressive, you can go for dagger and shield. Dagger gives some nice damage and some nice clone generation from range, which is good in some fractals, for example. You can easily replace it with a scepter if you need some blocks and some defenses. You can replace it with a sword if you need some defenses and, for example, a boon strip. Or you can replace it with a lot of other options. So like a spear is also decent for some nice stun and some nice evade as well. There are so many options on Mesmer. Just choose the weapon set that suits the best here. I would say the shield is very nice for some protection and some boons and some CC. You can also replace the shield, for example, with a pistol if you need some long range CC, or with a focus if you need a pull. So you see the weapons are very flexible, especially the second weapon set. But always use a rifle if you have access to it. Always the best option. Even a staff could be run if you want to have some long range CC, for example, or some chaos armor. Trinkets is the mix of Harriers and Givers for me here, but you can go for Minstrel as well. For the Relic, there are two options. Relic of the Flock is the more aggressive healing option. It gives you a very nice, just raw amount of healing and barrier output. If you struggle with upkeeping Swiftness, because you have no other support that provides, or DPS even, that provides any Swiftness, then you want to swap to Faber Relic. You really need some kind of like Swiftness access. Those two options are there. There is another option with Relic of Castora, which is also a decent one, but those three relics are probably the best in slot ones. I really like to run Relic of the Flock for the raw healing output. Let's talk about the consumables. For the consumables, very straightforward for a healer. You want to go with Bowl of Fruit Salad with Mint Garnish. Just nice healing outgoing modifier, some healing power and concentration. Really good. If you don't have access or don't want to use Ascended Food, you can go with Delicious Rice Balls. Very cheap option, very strong as well. And then for utility consumables, always go with Bountiful Maintenance Oils. By far the best option for healing builds. So use that. Quite expensive, but still very good. And now before I talk about the traits, I want to mention, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. But now let's talk about the traits. So for the traits, you are using Inspiration, Chaos, and Troubadour. Inspiration and Chaos, exactly the same setup as for Chronomancer. Inspiration, just a lot of nice healing, just some Condi cleanses, more healing on a mantra, some H's. When you cast your Shatter skill 4 or get Distortion, you will see that's actually quite important to get some H's for your allies. Get some clone generation when you use a healing skill, more healing power, and your shatters heal and remove conditions. So really good for yourself and for allies. Then you have your boon in Chaos, a lot of boons, some regen here, some more chaos armor, and some more concentration, especially while you have regen. That's really good. So that's why you can easily like get to 100% boon duration. Then you of course have your like really strong here, Bountiful Disillusionment, Might, Vigor, Fury, Regen, even Stability on your Crescendo, really strong. The self-stability on all the shatters is also not to be scoffed at, but of course the most important part is that you share stability with your Crescendo. Then you have Chaotic Transference, which is a really nice, like just easy upkeepable Regen here from your F2 skill, for example. And then your Illusionary Defense is just very important to upkeep, like protection with your Shatter skill 2, which you can spam quite often, so that means that you just keep up protection all the time. Then you have Troubadour, you get access to your instruments and Crescendo. We will talk about the skills in a second. But in general, you get just a lot of like nice buffs with the instruments. As you can see here, all stat increases, endurance region increases. It's just really, really good. And the harp stats also apply to allies, so that's really good. So that means that you heal them very nicely passively, just really good. And you get a node, so that's your new currency, so to say, to spend on your instruments. You don't have clones anymore, it's the nodes. Whenever you cross the Phantasm skill, so that you can build up the nodes very fast, which you then can spend to increase the duration of your instruments, which increase your damage and your healing output most importantly. Your tails, that are your utility skills, heal and grant protection to allies, that's quite nice if you run a lot of tails. You can swap that if you need more CC to syncopate. I probably butchered that, but yeah, that one is also good for CC, but that is just the best option for protection and healing. Also eases the usage of your F2 skill because you get easy protection uptime. Then you use always Life of the Party because you really need the Quickness output, otherwise you cannot be the Quickness to be a support. So you get some nice Might and Fury on top of that, but the most important part here is the Quickness on your F1 and your F5. That's really, really strong and really long lasting as well. So you don't even like have to stress too much, just use them and you will get some nice Quickness. And then you have Fortissimo, which is, I would say, the best option here, but you could actually go for all three. It's not that important because this is just increasing your attributes, making you stronger in every way. Means also you could become the tank, keep that in mind, but it's really, really good for just giving you more value as a healer, and you get a node for 5 seconds every second after using Crescendo, so you can use your attacks very fast after that, again, your instruments with full nodes. That's quite cool as well. You can go for Call and Response to get some double tapping on your instruments, but it's not necessary, and you can go for Altered Chord, which means that your harp, for example, is very nice healing on top of that, and you get some nice days on the F3. Those are the best ones, but I think it's not as good as the other two, so I would go for Fortissimo most of the time. Then let's quickly cover the skills. So the healing skills, of course, like your 2, 3, and 5 are just some nice healing skills on your rifle. The 4 is a nice stun after delay. The 3, you can double tap to get some healing and some condition remove. Otherwise, you would keep it to get some nice Might and Fury out after a delay, so it's really good as well. And the auto attack and the 2 skill, really nice long range healing. The 5 can be double tapped so that you have a portal for your allies, so you can use that. And then a single person can use it. If you double tap it, there's this link, this pink one, and you can teleport once. They can teleport to your position. Really, really good. Then if you run the shield offhand, you would have the 5 with a nice spoon output and some CC, also blocks missiles. And the 4 skill is some nice block and protection. If you run Scepter, you would have a 2 skill with a block. If you run Focus, you have a 4 skill with a pull. More importantly though are the F skills. So your F1 is just some nice Might and some healing again. Also removes conditions, grants Might. So this is really good in general, like for upkeeping Might, really important. Then you have your F2 skill, which is really strong for like just giving you some nice endurance region and also a lot of healing output, and of course the vigor and protection. And look at the boons that you get from that. It's like a lot already. And you see they are playing in the background. If you have 3 nodes, they play longer than if you use them without a node, but you can still use them, so keep that in mind. If you need healing or Condi cleanses, you can get that. You have Fury here from the drums, also some nice movement speed increase. And then the 4 skill grants yourself distortion, but also heals your allies. And it's a pulse, so it's like pulsing around you. This is a really, really important thing, not only for quickness, but also just for raw healing output. And then you have the Crescendo, which is a really, really strong skill. It grants a big barrier. And depending how many instruments are currently playing, it also gives you more healing for the allies. And it's again, Condi Cleanse, grants Quickness, Might, Fury, really overloaded, and it grants stability to your allies as well. So if you use that, you can see bam, get a lot of boons, get some nice healing out, some barrier. It's really, really strong. Really, really important to use that, of course, and try to use it always if you have as many instruments playing as possible. That's how that works. And always keep in mind, this also empowers you to get a lot of nodes after that, so you can spam your F skills more often. It's important that you try to use the F skills with as many nodes as possible, so that your healing output and just the potency of those skills is better. For healing skill, I would use always Mantra of Recovery. It's just really nice, just raw healing. You can use it after charging it once, you can use it instantly to get some nice healing output, and you can see even after charging it, you get the barrier from the Flock rune. Then you use, I would say, Tail of the Soulkeeper, which means even easier uptime of boons. For example, like Quickness. If your loot is playing, while you use this, you even get 2 nodes. That's really good as well, so you can use that to generate some nodes. But you can replace those. We will see that this is like very flexible with the utility skills and the lead skill, but that's a really easy one to upkeep boons, and heal gives some protection as well. Then I would run Mantra of Concentration a lot of the times, just for giving out some stability. And you can run, if you need even more stability, Tale of the Valiant Marshal, which grants resistance, stability, and heals again. And again, if you use the harp and use then this, you get some nice node generation. And this is really good as well. You can also use this to stun break your allies, which is really, really rare in Guild Wars 2 that you can stun break your allies with a skill. That's really, really good in some situations. If you want to swap some stuff and don't need that much stability, you can go for feedback, for reflect. You can go for null field, for condition remove. You can go for portal. You can go for blink. The portal blink combo is really good if you need to teleport your whole party across the map. You can go for boon removal with Phantasmal Disenchanter. You can go for mimic if you want to double cast something to be sure that this is the most potent thing and you want to do it like twice for whatever reason, lose Tale of the Soulkeeper twice or something. You can have more instant cast CC with the Mantra of Distraction. You can have more Condi Cleanse with Mantra of Solve. You can go for Signet of Illusions to reset your F skills except the F5. So there are so many options. Even like Signet of Domination for some more CC is good. And what I didn't mention here yet, you can also go for the other tails. So this is a nice aggressive tail that grants some CC here. Or you can go for Tale of the Honorable Rogue, which is very interesting because it grants super speed. And it's something that is quite unique in that regard. If you use this, you can drop the Faber Relic sometimes. If you don't want to have swiftness, you can give them some nice super speed in some situations. Be careful though with this, it also grants H's. And if you play the drums while using this, it grants your node and it has 2 charges. That's a very important part here, that you can use it quite often and quite frequently to upkeep like some kind of super speed, while also granting 50 endurance. So it's quite strong, I would say, in some situations. Sometimes it's not that strong, but oftentimes it can be really good if you need some dodges and stuff. So keep that in mind. But like I said, Faber Relic is necessary if you need swiftness permanently in your group and no one helps you out. But this can like somewhat help if you need some like just short bursts where you move around, then super speed can be really good for that. And of course, your lead skill, Tale of the August Queen, just sharing distortion is broken. So 2 seconds of distortion share when you use this. It has a cast time and it has some other effect, but come on, it's more about this like crazy like sharing of distortion. The other thing is like just increasing the duration of the instruments. It's okay, but the important part is more like that you share distortion after 1 second if you have quickness faster, but this is a very good skill, but you don't need it in most situations. So keep that in mind. You don't need to run the most broken skill in the game if you know your party is good enough to not die. So you can go for more CC with Signet of Humility. You can even go for more quickness if you really wanted to with Time Warp, or sometimes even stealth is necessary. Then Mass Invisibility is good. So keep that in mind, swap around, because this is not as much CC, for example, as a Chronomancer can put out. So sometimes going for Signet of Humility all the time in situations where you know there will be no one dying because your healing is good enough, then it's better to have some more CC than having like a panic button with distortion. But both are completely fine, so keep that in mind. For the rotation, it's very straightforward. You just want in the opener to use your 3 skill as fast as possible on rifle so that you get some boons out, and of course use your F1 or your crescendo very fast so that you get quickness out. Then after using the F1, typically use Tale of the Soulkeeper and you have almost instantly all boons. And then you can use your 2 and 5 skill on the rifle as well. You can swap to the other weapon swap and use, for example, Tides of Time for some more boons. But in general, it's like really about the opener, just getting as much might, 25 might as fast as possible together with quickness and fury, and all the other stuff you just follow along and adjust to the situation. And you can see in the background how I typically play this build, but it's not necessary that you have some kind of rigid rotation. Just try to use your F1 and your F5 whenever you need more quickness, and typically you just use them off cooldown, and then you have very, very easy time to upkeep your nice boons. And you can see how strong and how fun this build is in the background, and of course use your stability skills if necessary. You have a lot of them, and you can also, don't forget, if you get distortion or use your F4 skill, you get some H's sharing out to you. So that's the axis of H's here, so that can result in some nice blocks for your allies and enable to let them not dodge even though you don't provide stability, for example. And that's it. Really fun build, really strong. I would definitely recommend you to try it out. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again to all my dear supporters that helped me keep the lights on. And thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.